Now, a very interesting turn of event. A Canadian federal court did something that no one saw coming. It called Nigeria's two biggest political parties, the APC and the PDP, terrorist organizations. Not in a tweet, not in a protest, but in a court ruling. Now, this decision came while denying asylum to a Nigerian politician, Douglas Egereva. Canada's reasoning: both parties have a history of systemic political violence, from voter intimidation and ballot snatching to outright killings. I know that sounds all too familiar. And under Canadian law, membership alone makes you inadmissible. No need to prove you personally did anything wrong. Party card in hand, and you're out. And this has once again raised the question of the nation's integrity, as yet again, the actions of these political parties seem to be dragging the name of our dearly beloved country, Nigeria, in the mud. The court's examples go back to the PDP's time in power, especially 2003-2004 elections, if you remember.
Barrister, that was when I heard that news. It was strange to me. It's unprecedented. That was strange to me, but correct, that a judge on the bench will actually refer to the two major political parties in Nigeria as terrorists. Barrister, honestly, I commend that judge's courage to say that. Secondly, that is, you can see where Nigeria has gotten, where our leaders have gotten Nigeria to. And thirdly, that man was never right. He was absolutely correct that the two major political parties we have in Nigeria are terrorists. And he did it because one politician, I've forgotten the name of the politician, was seeking asylum in Canada or whatever. So that is the problem. Why will you be seeking asylum when you were a political? I don't know. The man was a PDP member. I forgot the other PDP or APC or whatever. PDP, right?
Then later APC.
Sorry.
He was PDP. Then later APC.
Later APC. Go. So of course, honestly, I was so excited when this judge excoriated him and actually rebuked him by seeking asylum. Why will you seek asylum? For God's sake, after terrorizing, destroying Nigeria, you want to come back, which is a very, very, honestly, I love that judge for him to have done that. For which I don't get it. After being part of the destruction and the damage done to Nigeria, you are now coming back. You want to abandon that country after destroying it, after being part of the destruction. You come back to a country where virtually everything works. To what? To do what? To escape that destruction, the damage you already caused? No, we're not going to grant you this asylum. Go back there because you are part of the system that broke down the entire system as well. So that is the point, Barrister. What's your take on this?
This issue has come upon Nigeria in a surprising manner, and a lot of comments are out there. My issue is that, number one, why I agree that all the parties in Nigeria are not really parties in the strict sense. I do not agree with the nomenclature of terrorists or terrorism. While certainly they are brigands, I do not think they have risen to the level of being called terrorist organizations. But the important thing is to say any member that belongs to these parties is a terrorist himself is less than honest and less than candid. We, back in 1999, when we were coming back to the democratic process, a constitution was made and political parties were established. A lot of us did not believe that the political parties will turn into what they have turned today.
Barrister, hold on, let me cut you there. No, hold on, let me cut you there. Remember, if you want, that's why I allowed it to play full. Remember, in Canada, according to that newscaster, in Canada, their law is the moment you belong to a party, you have a card carry, whatever was done under that party, you automatically. So this man was actually judging based on the law of the land. Look, because the truth is
no, not a party, a terrorist organization. Why he was denied the asylum is that he belonged to a terrorist organization.
Yeah, which is a party.
Because the court had called both the parties, PDP as terrorist organization. Yes. He being a member.
Correct. Automatically makes him
a member of a terrorist organization.
That is the point.
Which under Canadian law,
yes,
he could not be granted political asylum. That is why I was laying the foundation that will not be justice in the strict sense. Because in the approach to returning these are the same countries that press Nigeria to come back to democracy, in quotes, to come back to civilian rule. All the Western countries, inclusive of Canada, they condemn the military government, they put sanctions on the military government. Nigeria was a pariah. At that time, Abacha was there. They say, go back to civilian government. Then when the Constitution of 1999 was established and parties were established, a lot of Nigerians participated because the international community wanted Nigeria to participate in this. Even myself, I was a member of a political party at one point, but we never for once believed that these parties will turn into this. And secondly, being a member of a political party in Nigeria per se does not mean you control the party. It does not mean you are part of the decision making.
You are complicit. You mean it means you are complicit?
No, I don't. Like myself, I was once a member of the PDP at the inception.
Why did you leave?
I left.
Why did you leave?
I left the party because I did not like what I was seeing.
Good. That's the point. That is the judge's point, barrister. That was the judge's point.
Yeah, no, I'm coming. I did not like the politics that was being played.
That's the point.
All this nonsense, corruption. I didn't want to participate. So we should distinguish between people who were genuinely members of the party, but who, after seeing what they saw, they became disillusioned and left. And particularly those who did not have control, who did not occupy offices, whether in the party or in the public administration of the country. We should not just brand everybody who was a member of a political party as belonging to a terrorist organization. That would be a measure of injustice. Okay, if today I applied for political asylum in Canada and they want my background history and whether I was and I say, look, between social and social time, I belong to social party. That will automatically disqualify me from.
I don't think so. Hold on, barrister. I don't think so. Now the problem is, this man escaping is still a member of one of these two parties. He has not resigned. Now your case. Let me tell you one thing. The truth is that you mentioned something. You said you were once. Why did you leave? You gave reason why you left. That is the point. So this is the reason why, if you are a member of a group and the group is perpetrating evil, and you are still there, it obviously by default you are accomplice. You are accomplice to it. Because if you do not agree with them, why are you still there? That is why you two left PDP. You did not agree. Remember, when you were in PDP, you played a very prominent role as a legal advisor or whatever, did some of their documentation or whatever. You left because of corruption. What was going on? Things were not going on your own way. Not your own way. The way it should go on, the right way. That is the point. So if you are in an organization and the organization is not doing the right thing, you pull out. If you try to change what they are doing and you cannot do it, you find out that you cannot do it, you resign. This man seeking asylum is still a member of one of these two parties. So what are we talking about?
The man has abandoned politics in Nigeria. That's why he's leaving. What I'm trying to say is that the courts, whether in Canada or any other Western country, should treat these kind of cases on a case-by-case basis. It should not be a blanket statement that once you belong to a political party, your asylum will be.
But you know something. You know government. Hold on.
It should be.
But you understand something. You know that government does not operate like a faith organization. Faith organization is what they don't believe in your past. Faith organization is okay, who you are now, what you are now. They don't take you back to your past. They just treat you based on who you are. But government or the law or institutions don't operate that way.
Court. This is a court of law and a court of justice.
Yeah, so even court, you as a lawyer,
court of justice,
let people talk about.
When you are talking about a court and justice,
yes,
it should be treated on a case-by-case basis. Like if there is an extenuating factor, okay, you belong to a party, but if you can show that you were not part of the terrorism or the acts that are now branded as terrorists, and you realize that it was not a veritable platform to continue to be, and you left, your case should be different from just tagging anybody. Once you're a member of this party, you are a member of a terrorist organization, and your visa or your asylum should be denied. That's what I'm just saying.
Anyway, the message
I'm not disputing the overall issue there. But okay. I said everybody or every application should be treated on a case-by-case basis.
All right, point taken.
To avoid injustice.
Okay, point taken anyway. But however, honestly, I still see that as a clarion call to Nigerians, because I don't know why would you be angry if somebody is basically saying, it's just stating the obvious. We all know that terrorism in Nigeria, both parties have.
But again, let me add something, that when asylum is not just granted because of a flimsy reason. You can relocate to Canada, you can relocate to US, to Britain and other Western countries on a normal level. But when you apply for political asylum, it means that you are being oppressed. Your life is in danger.
Yes.
The life of your business and other things are in imminent danger.
Yes.
That is why you want this political asylum. So we should look at it from that narrow angle. Why would this man, is anybody trying to kill him in Nigeria? Those are the things, or trying to put him in prison for his political views or for his social views or religious views. Those are the factors that go into applying for asylum.
Do you think that excuse me, do you think that the judge that this man actually proved what you just said, yet the judge made such pronouncement? You think so?
No, I cannot say that, because what we saw a very small portion of the judgment itself. We didn't see the background to the judgment. We didn't see the reasons that he gave for the asylum. They were not pointed out.
Yeah, but I just believe that for the judge to be this extravagant, reckless, I use that word reckless, even though I like what he said, it's reckless, for the judge to go this extreme in being reckless with words, I don't think that man actually proved to him beyond reasonable doubt that he was being actually either oppressed or persecuted or threatened because of his political views or whatever.
And finally, it is, let me say, the action is just a minuscule action that will not really affect the politicians in Nigeria, because how many politicians apply for political asylum? But they apply for visas every day. The action should be referenced with visa application. That is where it will really hit our political class. If you just talk at the level of political asylum, it's not going to catch how many of them. But daily, we know that every day they apply for visa to US, to UK, to Canada, to Switzerland, all these things. If that provision should be applied to visa application, that is where it is going to hit and affect our political class and bring them to humility.